I could see my father's silhouette sitting on the couch, watching TV. He knew I was out here. And he didn't care. I tried calling my brother Jason, but he didn't answer. He was at college, probably at some party. I had no one else. My grandparents had passed away. I had no close aunts or uncles. My friends. I didn't have friends close enough to ask for help. I was always studying, always trying to be perfect. I didn't have time for deep friendships. At 11:30 at night, with the temperature dropping to 35 degrees, I started walking. I didn't know where to go. I passed houses decorated for Christmas, happy families visible through windows. I passed the school, dark and empty. And then I had an idea. The school gym. I knew there was a side entrance that was sometimes left unlocked for teams that practiced early in the morning. I tried the door. It was open. I entered the dark, silent gym. I found the girls' locker room and locked myself inside. There were benches, showers, and it was warm. It wasn't a bed, but it was better than the street. I put my backpack as a pillow, lay down on the hard bench, and cried myself to sleep. I woke up at 5:30 in the morning to my phone alarm. I had to get out of the locker room before anyone arrived. I showered quickly in the school showers, changed clothes. I had a clean change of clothes in my backpack for gym class, and left the gym before 6:30. I went to the public library when it opened at 7, studied until school started at 8, and then went to my classes as if nothing was wrong. I took my AP chemistry exam. I thought I did well, but I couldn't concentrate completely. My mind kept going back to the night before. My parents had really abandoned me. During finals week. Without warning. Without explanation. They just left me on the street. During lunch, I tried calling my mother again. Straight to voicemail. I texted, "Mom, please. I'm sorry for whatever I did. Please let me come home." No response. After school, I went back to the public library. I studied until it closed at 9. Then I went back to the gym, entered through the side door, and slept in the locker room again. This was my routine for the next 4 days. Wake up at 5:30. Shower. Change clothes. Leave before anyone arrived. Library. School. Exams. Library. Gym. Sleep. Repeat. I was exhausted. I was hungry. I only had enough money for one meal a day in the school cafeteria. I was emotionally destroyed. But I kept going. I took all my exams. I pretended everything was fine. On the 6th night, I made a mistake. I was so tired that I overslept. I didn't wake up at 5:30. I woke up at 6:45 to the sound of voices outside the locker room. The girls' basketball team was arriving for morning practice. I panicked. I grabbed my backpack and tried to leave quietly, but when I opened the locker room door, someone was there. Coach Sarah Mitchell, the women's basketball coach. Sarah was 32 years old, tall, athletic, with short dark hair and kind eyes. She looked at me, then at my backpack, then back at the locker room. "Did you sleep here?" Sarah asked gently. I froze. I thought about lying, but I was too tired. "Yes," I admitted, my voice breaking. "Please don't report me. I have nowhere to go." Sarah frowned. "How long have you been sleeping here?" "5 nights," I said, tears starting to fall. "My parents, they changed the locks. They won't let me come home. I don't have anyone. Please don't call social services. They'll put me in a shelter. I just need to finish my finals. Just 2 more days. Please." Sarah looked at this 15-year-old girl, clearly exhausted, clearly desperate, and made a decision. "Get your things," Sarah said. "You're coming to my house." I stared at her. "What?" "You heard me," Sarah said. "You're not sleeping in a locker room. You're coming home with me. We'll figure out the rest later." "But, you don't even know me," I said. "I know enough," Sarah said. "I know you're a kid who needs help. And I'm not going to leave you here. Now come on. My team is about to arrive and I don't want them asking questions. I followed Sarah out of the gym in a daze. She led me to her car, a blue Honda Civic, and we drove to her apartment, a modest 2-bedroom place about 10 minutes from the school. You can stay in the guest room, Sarah said as we entered. There's a bed, a desk, everything you need. Bathroom is down the hall. Are you hungry? I nodded, tears streaming down my face. I couldn't believe this stranger was being kinder to me than my own parents. Sarah made me breakfast, scrambled eggs and toast, and I ate like I hadn't eaten in days, which was almost true. Tell me what happened, Sarah said, sitting across from me at the kitchen table. So I told her everything. About my parents changing the locks. About my mother telling me I was a burden. About sleeping in the gym for 5 nights. About having nowhere else to go. Sarah listened, her expression growing darker with each detail. Your parents abandoned you during finals week, Sarah said, her voice tight with anger. That's child abuse. We need to call social services. No, I said immediately. Please. If you call social services, they'll put me in foster care. I'll be moved around, I won't be able to finish school properly. I'll lose everything. Please. I just need a place to stay until I turn 18. That's less than 3 years. Please. Sarah looked at me for a long moment. I could get in serious trouble for not reporting this, she said. But I'm not going to let you go into the system if I can help it. Here's what we're going to do. You're going to stay here. With me. We'll tell the school you're living with a family friend because of family issues. We won't give details. You'll finish your finals, finish the school year, and we'll figure out the legal stuff later. Okay. Okay, I whispered. Thank you. Thank you so much. Don't thank me yet, Sarah said. We have rules. You go to school every day. You keep your grades up. You help around the house. You tell me where you are and who you're with. And you go to therapy because what your parents did to you is traumatic and you need to process it. Deal. Deal, I said. And that's how Coach Sarah Mitchell became my family. The next 2.5 years living with Sarah were the best of my life. She gave me stability, support, and unconditional love, things I'd never had from my biological parents. I finished my finals that December and got straight A's. I finished sophomore year with a 4.0 GPA. Sarah came to every academic award ceremony, every honor roll announcement, every parent-teacher conference. She was more of a parent than my actual parents had ever been. We never heard from my parents during those years. Not a call, not a text, not a letter. Nothing. It was like I'd never existed to them. At first, that hurt. But over time, with Sarah's support and therapy, I realized it was a blessing. I didn't need people in my life who saw me as a burden. I had Sarah. And Sarah saw me as a gift. In my junior year, I started volunteering at a homeless shelter. I knew what it was like to have nowhere to go, to be abandoned, to sleep in places you shouldn't have to sleep. I wanted to help others who were going through what I'd gone through. Sarah supported this completely. You're turning your pain into purpose, she told me. That's incredibly powerful. I also started the process of legal emancipation. With Sarah's help and a pro bono lawyer, I filed paperwork to be legally emancipated from my parents. They didn't contest it. They didn't even show up to the hearing. The judge granted my emancipation when I turned 16. You're one of the most mature and responsible young people I've ever met, the judge told me. I have no doubt you'll succeed in life. Sarah cried happy tears that day. I'm so proud of you, she said, hugging me tight. You're going to do amazing things. Senior year, I applied to colleges. I had a 4.0 GPA, perfect test scores, incredible volunteer experience, and a personal essay about overcoming homelessness that made admissions officers cry. I was accepted to every school I applied to, including my dream school, the University of Minnesota Twin Cities, with a full scholarship. Sarah threw me a graduation party in June 2019. She invited her friends, her family, my teachers, people from the homeless shelter where I volunteered. It was small but perfect. I want to make a toast, Sarah said, raising her glass. 4 years ago, I found a scared, exhausted 15-year-old girl sleeping in a locker room. Today, that girl is graduating as valedictorian, heading to college on a full scholarship, and about to change the world. Avery, I am so incredibly proud of you. You are the daughter of my heart, and I love you more than words can say. I cried. Everyone cried. It was the happiest day of my life. I went to college and thrived. I majored in social work, determined to help young people who'd been abandoned like I had. I graduated in 2023 with honors and immediately got a job with Hennepin County as a social worker specializing in homeless youth. Sarah came to my college graduation, crying proud tears again. You did it, she said. You really did it. We did it, I corrected. I couldn't have done any of this without you. In 2024, I was 24 years old, living in my own apartment in Minneapolis, working a job I loved, with Sarah as my chosen family. I hadn't thought about my biological parents in years. And then, one day in November 2024, I got a call from an unknown number. I almost didn't answer, but something made me pick up. Hello, Avery. It's Jason. My brother. I hadn't spoken to him in 7 years. What do you want? I asked, my voice cold. I'm getting married, Jason said. In December. And Mom and Dad want you to come to the wedding. I laughed, a bitter sound. You're joking. I'm not, Jason said. Look, I know things were complicated, but it's been 7 years. Don't you think it's time to move past it? Move past it. I repeated. Jason, they abandoned me. They changed the locks and left me on the street during finals week when I was 15 years old. I slept in a gym locker room for 5 nights. I could have died. And you want me to move past it, so I can come to your wedding and pretend we're a happy family. It wasn't that bad, Jason said. You're being dramatic. I was homeless, I said, my voice rising. I was a child and they made me homeless. How is that not that bad? They were trying to teach you independence, Jason said. And it worked, didn't it? You're successful now. You should thank them. I was speechless. My own brother was defending what our parents had done. Let me be very clear, I said slowly. I will not be attending your wedding. I will not be pretending we're a family. And if you or our parents contact me again, I will get a restraining order. Lose my number. I hung up and blocked him immediately. But the call had shaken me. That night, I told Sarah what happened. They want you to come to the wedding to keep up appearances, Sarah said, anger in her voice. They don't actually care about you. They just don't want people asking why their daughter isn't there. I know, I said. But part of me wants to go. Not to reconcile. But to show them who I became without them. To show them they didn't break me. Sarah looked at me thoughtfully. If you want to go, I'll go with you, she said. You don't have to face them alone. I thought about it for a week. And then I made a decision. I would go to the wedding. But not to reconcile. To get closure. To show my parents exactly what they'd lost when they abandoned me. I called Jason from a different number. I'll come to the wedding, I said. On one condition. I'm bringing a guest. Fine, Jason said, clearly surprised I'd changed my mind. Who? My mother, I said. Coach Sarah Mitchell. The woman who actually raised me. There was silence on the other end. Avery. Those are my terms, I said. Take it or leave it. Fine, Jason said finally. You can bring her. The wedding was scheduled for December 14th, 2024, at a fancy hotel in downtown Minneapolis. Sarah and I got dressed up, her in an elegant navy suit, me in a beautiful burgundy dress. You look stunning, Sarah said. Are you ready for this? I'm ready, I said. Let's go show them what they missed. We arrived at the wedding and immediately I could feel eyes on me. Relatives I hadn't seen in 7 years, family friends, everyone staring. My parents were standing near the entrance, greeting guests. When they saw me, they froze. My mother, Diane, looked older, more tired. My father, Robert, looked uncomfortable. Avery, Diane said, forcing a smile. You came. You look well. I am well, I said coldly. No thanks to you. Let's not make a scene, Robert said quietly. We're glad you're here. It means a lot to Jason. I'm not here for Jason, I said. I'm here for closure. And I want you to meet someone. This is Sarah Mitchell. My real mother. The woman who took me in when you threw me out. The woman who raised me, supported me, and loved me unconditionally. Everything you should have been but weren't. Diane's face went pale. Avery, we can explain. There's nothing to explain, I said. You abandoned your 15-year-old daughter during finals week. You changed the locks and left me on the street. I slept in a gym locker room for 5 nights before Sarah found me and saved my life. Those are facts. There's no explanation that makes that okay. People around us were starting to stare and whisper. Please, Robert said. Can we talk about this privately? No, I said. You had 7 years to talk to me privately. You never called. You never checked if I was alive. You didn't even contest my emancipation. So no, we're not talking privately. I'm going to say what I came here to say, and then I'm leaving. Avery, Diane started. I want everyone here to know the truth, I said, my voice carrying. I want them to know that Robert and Diane Thompson abandoned their 15-year-old daughter. That they threw me out during one of the coldest weeks of the year. That I could have died. That I survived not because of them, but in spite of them. And I want them to know that I'm successful now, not because of anything they did, but because a stranger showed me more kindness in one day than they showed me in 15 years. The room had gone completely silent. Everyone was staring at us. My mother's face was red with embarrassment and anger. My father looked like he wanted to disappear. Jason appeared from somewhere in the crowd, his fiancée beside him. Avery, what are you doing? He hissed. I'm telling the truth, I said calmly. Something this family has never been good at. You're ruining my wedding, Jason said. No, I'm not, I said. Your wedding hasn't even started yet. I'm just making sure everyone knows exactly who our parents are before they celebrate this family. We did what we thought was best, Diane said, her voice shaking. We were trying to teach you responsibility. By making me homeless, I said. By abandoning me during finals week. By never checking if I was safe or alive. That's not teaching responsibility. That's child abuse. You turned out fine, Robert said defensively. You're successful. You have a good job. So clearly it worked. I turned out fine because of Sarah, I said, gesturing to Sarah beside me. Not because of you. Sarah took me in. Sarah supported me through high school. Sarah came to my graduation. Sarah helped me get through college. Sarah was there for every important moment of my life. Where were you? Oh, that's right. You were pretending I didn't exist. We thought you needed space, Diane said weakly. Space. I repeated. I was 15 years old. I didn't need space. I needed parents. I needed a home. I needed to know I mattered. But you couldn't give me that, could you? Because I was never good enough for you. I wasn't the perfect athlete like Jason. I wasn't the cute baby like Lily. I was just the middle child who got in the way. That's not true, Diane protested. Then why did you throw me out? I challenged. Why did you change the locks? Why did you tell me I was a burden? Why did you hang up on me when I called you crying, asking where I was supposed to sleep? Diane had no answer. Neither did Robert. I came here today to get closure, I said. To show you that I don't need you. I never needed you. I have a real family now. Sarah is my mother. Her family is my family. And I'm happy. I'm successful. I help kids who were abandoned like I was. I turned my trauma into purpose. And you had nothing to do with it. Avery, please, Jason said. Can we just move past this? It's my wedding day. Congratulations on your wedding, Jason, I said. I hope your marriage is happy. I hope you're a better father than ours was. And I hope you never ever treat your children the way our parents treated me. I turned to Sarah. Let's go. Sarah nodded, and we started walking toward the exit. Avery, wait. It was my younger sister, Lily. She was 19 now, a college student. I barely recognized her. What? I asked, stopping. I'm sorry, Lily said, tears in her eyes. I was only 12 when it happened. I didn't understand. But I'm older now and I've thought about it a lot. What they did to you was wrong. It was so wrong. And I'm sorry I didn't try to find you. I'm sorry I didn't help you. I looked at my little sister, seeing genuine remorse in her eyes. Thank you for saying that, I said. That means more than you know. Can we stay in touch? Lily asked. I'd like to know you. The real you. Not the version Mom and Dad told me about. I thought about it. Maybe, I said. But I need time. And I need to know you're not going to defend what they did. I won't, Lily promised. I know it was wrong. I know they were wrong. Okay, I said. Here's my number. Text me. We'll see where it goes. I wrote my number on a piece of paper and handed it to her. Then Sarah and I left the hotel. As we walked to the car, I felt lighter than I had in years. How do you feel? Sarah asked. Free, I said. I feel free. I said what I needed to say. I showed them I don't need them. And now I can move on. I'm proud of you, Sarah said. That took incredible courage. I learned from the best, I said, hugging her. Thank you for being my real mom. Thank you for saving me. You saved yourself, Sarah said. I just gave you a safe place to land. We drove back to my apartment, and I felt like a weight had been lifted off my shoulders. I'd faced my parents. I'd told the truth. I'd shown them exactly what they'd lost. And I'd walked away with my head held high. Over the next few weeks, I heard through the grapevine that my parents were furious about what I'd said at the wedding. Apparently, several relatives had confronted them about abandoning me. Some had even cut contact with them. Good, I told Sarah when she relayed this information. They should face consequences for what they did. Lily did text me. We started talking, slowly building a relationship. She told me that our parents had always painted me as the problem child, the difficult one, the one who'd run away. They lied, Lily said during one of our coffee meetups in January 2025. They told everyone you ran away because you were rebellious. They never told anyone they kicked you out. Of course they didn't, I said, because then they'd have to admit what they did was wrong. I'm so sorry I believed them, Lily said. I should have questioned it. I should have tried to find you. You were 12, I said. You were a kid. It's not your fault. Still, Lily said. I want to make it up to you. I want to be your sister. Your real sister. I'd like that, I said. And slowly, carefully, Lily and I built a relationship. Not the one we should have had growing up, but a new one. An honest one. In March 2025, I got a letter in the mail from my mother. I almost threw it away without reading it, but curiosity got the better of me. Dear Avery, I've been thinking a lot about what you said at Jason's wedding. About how we abandoned you. About how we failed you as parents. And I want you to know that I'm sorry. I know that doesn't fix anything. I know it doesn't undo the damage. But I needed to say it. Your father and I were going through a difficult time when you were 15. We were having financial problems, marital problems, and we took it out on you. That was wrong. We should have protected you. We should have supported you. Instead, we pushed you away. I don't expect you to forgive us. I don't expect a relationship. But I wanted you to know that I regret what we did. I regret not being the mother you deserved. I hope you're happy. I hope you're well. And I hope someday you can find peace with what happened. Love, Mom. I read the letter 3 times. It was the first time my mother had ever truly apologized. But it was too late. Too much damage had been done. I showed the letter to Sarah. What do you think? I asked. I think she's trying, Sarah said. But trying isn't the same as making amends. An apology is just words. Real change requires action. Has she offered to make amends? Has she offered to pay for the therapy you needed because of what she did? Has she offered anything beyond words? No, I said. Then it's not a real apology, Sarah said. It's just guilt. She feels bad because you called her out publicly. But feeling bad isn't the same as taking responsibility. You're right, I said. I didn't respond to the letter. I put it in a drawer and moved on with my life. In June 2025, I was promoted at work. I was now a senior social worker, supervising a team of caseworkers who helped homeless youth. I was making a real difference in kids' lives, helping them find safe housing, get into school, build futures. You're doing exactly what you were meant to do, Sarah told me when I shared the news. You're turning your pain into purpose. You're helping kids who are going through what you went through. That's powerful. I couldn't have done it without you, I said. You showed me what real family looks like. You showed me that I was worth saving. And now I get to show other kids the same thing. In August 2025, Lily called me, upset. Mom and Dad are getting divorced, she said. Apparently, after Jason's wedding, a lot of family members confronted them about what they did to you. It caused a huge rift. Dad blamed Mom. Mom blamed Dad. And now they're splitting up. How do you feel about that? I asked. Honestly? Relieved, Lily said. They've been miserable for years. Maybe this is for the best. But Mom keeps asking about you. She wants to know if you'll talk to her. No, I said immediately. I'm not interested in a relationship with her. She had 7 years to reach out. She only did it after I embarrassed her publicly. That's not genuine remorse. That's damage control. I understand, Lily said. I'll tell her. In October 2025, I was invited to speak at a conference about youth homelessness. I told my story about being abandoned at 15, about sleeping in a gym locker room, about being saved by a coach who became my real mother. Family isn't always blood, I said to the audience of social workers, educators, and advocates. Sometimes family is the person who shows up when everyone else walks away. Sometimes family is the stranger who sees you sleeping in a locker room and says, "You're coming home with me." That's real family. That's real love. The speech went viral. A video of it was shared thousands of times on social media. I started getting messages from people all over the country, people who'd been abandoned by their families, people who'd found chosen families, people who wanted to thank me for telling my story. And then I got a message from my father. "I saw your speech. I'm proud of you. Can we talk?" I stared at the message for a long time. Then I blocked him. I didn't need his pride. I didn't need his approval. I had Sarah's pride. I had Sarah's approval. That was enough. In December 2025, on the anniversary of the night my parents changed the locks, Sarah and I had dinner together at her apartment. 7 years ago today, you found me in that locker room, I said. You saved my life. You saved your own life, Sarah said. You survived 5 nights on your own. You kept going to school. You kept taking your exams. You were already strong. I just gave you a place to be strong. You gave me more than that, I said. You gave me a home. You gave me love. You gave me a family. You're my real mother, Sarah. Not biologically, but in every way that matters. And you're my real daughter, Sarah said, tears in her eyes. In every way that matters. We hugged, and I felt grateful. Grateful for the woman who'd saved me. Grateful for the life I'd built. Grateful for the family I'd chosen. In January 2026, I was contacted by a publisher. They wanted me to write a book about my experience, about being abandoned and finding chosen family. Your story could help so many people, the editor said. Young people who've been abandoned. Adults who are struggling with toxic family relationships. People who need to know that it's okay to walk away from blood family and build chosen family. I thought about it and agreed. I spent the next 6 months writing my memoir, titled Locked Out, How I Survived Abandonment and Found Real Family. Sarah helped me edit it, offering feedback and support. This is powerful, she said after reading the first draft. This is going to change lives. The book was published in August 2026. It became a bestseller almost immediately. I did interviews, podcasts, speaking engagements. I told my story over and over, and every time, people responded with their own stories of abandonment, of chosen family, of survival. You're giving people permission to walk away from toxic families, one interviewer said. You're showing them that it's okay to choose themselves. That's exactly what I want to do, I said. For too long, we've been told that family is everything, that blood is thicker than water, that we have to forgive and forget. But that's not true. Family should be people who love you, support you, and treat you with respect. If your blood family doesn't do that, you have every right to walk away and build a family that does. In September 2026, my mother showed up at one of my book signings. I was at a bookstore in Minneapolis, signing copies of my memoir, when I looked up and saw her standing in line. My heart started racing. I hadn't seen her in almost 2 years, since Jason's wedding. She looked older, thinner, tired. When she reached the front of the line, she placed a copy of my book on the table. "Hi, Avery," she said quietly. "Hi," I said, my voice cold. "What do you want?" "I read your book," she said. "I bought it last week and I read it in one sitting. And I wanted to tell you. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry for what I did to you. You were right. What we did was child abuse. It was unforgivable. And I don't expect you to forgive me. But I needed to tell you, face to face, that I'm sorry." I looked at her, this woman who'd given birth to me, raised me for 15 years, and then thrown me away like garbage. "Thank you for saying that," I said. "But an apology doesn't undo the damage. It doesn't give me back the years I spent in therapy dealing with abandonment issues. It doesn't erase the nights I cried myself to sleep wondering why I wasn't good enough for my own parents to love me." "I know," Diane said, tears streaming down her face. "I know it doesn't fix anything. But I needed you to know that I regret it. Every single day, I regret it. I lost my daughter because of my own cruelty and stupidity. And I have to live with that for the rest of my life." "Yes, you do," I said. "Just like I have to live with the trauma of what you did for the rest of mine." "Is there any chance?" Diane started, then stopped. "Any chance we could have a relationship? Even a small one?" I thought about it. "No," I said finally. "I don't think so. Too much damage has been done. I've built a life without you. A good life. A happy life. And I don't need you in it." Diane nodded, more tears falling. "I understand. I want you to know that I'm proud of you. You're an amazing woman. You're helping so many people. And I'm proud to have been your mother, even if I didn't deserve to be." "You weren't my mother," I said. "Not in any way that matters. Sarah is my mother. She's the one who raised me. She's the one who supported me. She's the one who loved me unconditionally. You were just the person who gave birth to me." Diane flinched like I'd slapped her. But she nodded. "You're right. I'm sorry. I'll leave you alone now. She turned and walked away, leaving the unsigned book on the table. I watched her go and felt nothing. No anger, no sadness, no guilt. Just acceptance. She was a stranger to me now. Someone I used to know. Someone who'd hurt me. But someone who no longer had power over me. After the signing, I called Sarah. My mother showed up, I said. She apologized. She asked if we could have a relationship. I said no. How do you feel? Sarah asked. Free, I said. I feel completely free. She doesn't have power over me anymore. I don't need her approval or her love. I have yours. That's enough. I love you so much, Sarah said. I'm so proud of the woman you've become. I love you too, Mom, I said. And I meant it. Sarah was my mom. Not Diane. Sarah. In November 2026, I was invited to testify before the state legislature about youth homelessness and the need for better support systems. I told my story again, about being abandoned, about sleeping in a gym, about being saved by a coach. We need more people like Coach Sarah Mitchell, I told the legislators. We need more people who are willing to step up and help kids in crisis. We need better funding for youth shelters, for foster care, for support services. We need to make sure that no child has to sleep in a gym locker room because their parents abandoned them. The testimony was powerful. Several legislators came up to me afterward, promising to support increased funding for youth services. You're making a real difference, one senator told me. Your story is changing minds and changing policy. In December 2026, exactly 9 years after the night my parents changed the locks, Sarah and I had a celebration dinner. 9 years ago, you were sleeping in a locker room, Sarah said, raising her glass. Today, you're a best-selling author, a senior social worker, and an advocate who's changing lives. I am so incredibly proud of you. 9 years ago, you found me and saved my life, I said, raising my glass. Today, you're still my hero. Thank you for being my real mom. Thank you for showing me what family really means. We clinked glasses and drank, celebrating not just how far I'd come, but how far we'd come together. In January 2027, I got an email from Jason. Avery, I've been doing a lot of thinking since my wedding. About what you said. About what Mom and Dad did to you. And I realize now that I was wrong to defend them. What they did was inexcusable. I'm sorry I didn't see that sooner. I'm sorry I didn't try to find you after they kicked you out. I was 18 and in college, and I told myself it wasn't my problem. But you were my little sister. It should have been my problem. I should have helped you. I'm sorry. I know this doesn't fix anything. But I wanted you to know that I understand now. And if you ever want to talk, I'm here. Jason. I read the email several times. It was the first time Jason had ever acknowledged that what our parents did was wrong. It was the first time he'd ever apologized for not helping me. I showed it to Sarah. What do you think? I asked. I think he's genuinely sorry, Sarah said. But the question is, do you want a relationship with him? I thought about it. Maybe, I said. Not right now. But maybe someday. He was 18 when it happened. He was young and stupid. And at least he's acknowledging it now. That's fair, Sarah said. Take your time. You don't owe him anything. I didn't respond to Jason's email right away. But I didn't delete it either. I saved it, a record of his apology, and moved on with my life. In March 2027, I met someone. His name was Daniel, and he was a teacher at a school for at-risk youth. We met at a conference about youth services. I read your book, he said when we were introduced. It was incredible. Your story is so powerful. Thank you, I said. What you do is important too. Teaching at-risk kids, giving them hope and opportunity. We started talking, and I felt an immediate connection. Daniel understood what I'd been through. He understood the importance of chosen family. He understood trauma and resilience. We started dating, and for the first time in my life, I felt like I was in a healthy, equal relationship with someone who truly saw me. I want you to meet my mom, I told Daniel after we'd been dating for 3 months. I'd love to, Daniel said. I brought Daniel to Sarah's apartment for dinner. Sarah and Daniel hit it off immediately, talking about education, youth services, and their shared passion for helping kids. I like him, Sarah told me after Daniel left. He's good for you. He sees you for who you really are. I like him too, I said. I think this could be something real. In June 2027, Daniel and I moved in together. It was a big step, but it felt right. We got a 2-bedroom apartment in Minneapolis, close to both our jobs. I want one room to be an office, I said. I'm working on my 2nd book. What's it about? Daniel asked. Chosen family, I said. About how the people who show up for you are more important than the people who share your DNA. About how love is a choice, not an obligation. That's perfect, Daniel said. The world needs that message. I spent the next year writing my 2nd book, Chosen, Why the Family You Build Matters More Than the Family You're Born Into. It was published in August 2028 and became another bestseller. You're becoming a voice for a generation, my editor told me. A voice for people who've been hurt by their families and need permission to walk away and build something better. That's exactly what I want to be, I said. In October 2028, I got a call from Lily. Avery, I need to tell you something, she said, her voice shaking. What's wrong? I asked. Mom's sick, Lily said. She has cancer. Stage 4. The doctors say she has maybe 6 months. I felt my stomach drop. Oh, I said, not knowing what else to say. She wants to see you, Lily said. She wants to apologize in person. She wants to make amends before she dies. I closed my eyes. I don't know if I can do that, Lily. I understand, Lily said. I'm not asking you to forgive her. I'm just asking you to consider it. She's dying, Avery. This is her last chance to make things right. She had 9 years to make things right, I said. She only wants to now because she's dying and she's scared. Maybe, Lily admitted. But does that matter? If she's genuinely sorry, does it matter why? I thought about it. I need to talk to Sarah, I said. I'll call you back. I talked to Sarah that night. What do you think I should do? I asked. I think you should do whatever feels right for you, Sarah said. Not for your mother. Not for Lily. For you. Will you regret it if you don't see her before she dies? Or will you regret it if you do see her and she disappoints you again? I don't know, I admitted. Then take your time, Sarah said. You don't have to decide right now. I thought about it for a week. And then I made a decision. I would see my mother. Not to forgive her. Not to reconcile. But to get final closure. To say what I needed to say before she died. I called Lily. I'll see her, I said. But on my terms. At a neutral location. And Sarah comes with me. Okay, Lily said. I'll arrange it. We met at a coffee shop in downtown Minneapolis. My mother was there, sitting in a corner booth. She looked terrible, thin and pale, clearly sick. Lily was with her. Sarah and I sat down across from them. Thank you for coming, Diane said, her voice weak. I didn't come for you, I said. I came for me. I came to say what I need to say before you die. Okay, Diane said. I'm listening. You destroyed me, I said. When you abandoned me at 15, you destroyed my sense of self-worth. You made me believe I was worthless, that I was a burden, that I didn't deserve love. It took years of therapy to undo that damage. Years of Sarah showing me that I was worthy of love and support. You stole my childhood. You stole my sense of safety. You stole my ability to trust people. And you never even apologized until I publicly embarrassed you. Diane was crying. I know. I'm so sorry. Sorry isn't enough, I said. Sorry doesn't give me back what you took. Sorry doesn't erase the trauma. Sorry is just a word. What can I do? Diane asked. What can I do to make this right? Nothing, I said. There's nothing you can do. The damage is done. I've moved on. I've built a life without you. A good life. A happy life. And you're not part of it. I understand, Diane said. But I want you to know that I regret it every single day. I regret not being the mother you deserved. I regret throwing you away. I regret all of it. Good, I said. You should regret it. You should spend whatever time you have left regretting it. Because what you did was unforgivable. Avery, Lily started. No, I said, turning to Lily. She doesn't get to be forgiven just because she's dying. She doesn't get a deathbed redemption. She made her choices. She has to live with the consequences. Or in this case, die with them. I stood up. I came here to say goodbye. Not because I forgive you, but because I'm letting go of you. You don't have power over me anymore. You're just a woman who hurt me a long time ago. And now you're dying. And I feel nothing. No anger, no sadness, no guilt. Just nothing. Goodbye, Diane. I hope you find peace. I walked out of the coffee shop, Sarah beside me. Are you okay? Sarah asked. I'm okay, I said. I said what I needed to say. I got my closure. And now I can move on. I'm proud of you, Sarah said. That took incredible strength. I learned from the best, I said, hugging her. My mother died 3 months later, in January 2029. Lily called to tell me. The funeral is next week, she said. Will you come? No, I said. I said my goodbye. I don't need to go to her funeral. I understand, Lily said. Thank you for seeing her before she died. It meant a lot to her. I didn't do it for her, I said. I did it for me. After my mother's death, I felt a sense of finality. The chapter was closed. The woman who'd abandoned me was gone. And I was free. In March 2029, Daniel proposed. I love you, he said. I love your strength, your compassion, your resilience. I love that you turned your pain into purpose. I love that you help kids who are going through what you went through. Will you marry me? Yes, I said, crying happy tears. Yes, I will. We got married in June 2029, in Sarah's backyard. It was a small ceremony, just close friends and chosen family. Sarah officiated. We're gathered here today to celebrate the marriage of Avery and Daniel, Sarah said. 2 people who understand that family is about choice, not blood. 2 people who've dedicated their lives to helping others. 2 people who've found in each other a true partner. I looked at Daniel, at Sarah, at the people gathered around us, and I felt overwhelmed with gratitude. This was my family. Not the people who'd abandoned me, but the people who'd chosen me. The people who'd shown up. The people who'd loved me unconditionally. I promise to be your partner, I said to Daniel. I promise to support you, respect you, and love you. I promise to build a family with you based on choice, not obligation. I promise to show up for you, always. I promise the same, Daniel said. I promise to be your safe place. I promise to love you unconditionally. I promise to build a life with you that honors your past but focuses on our future. We kissed, and everyone cheered. After the ceremony, Sarah pulled me aside. I have something for you, she said. She handed me a small box. Inside was a necklace with a pendant that said, Chosen. You chose me, Sarah said. And I chose you. That's what makes us family. Not blood. Choice. I hugged her, crying. Thank you for choosing me. Thank you for saving me. Thank you for being my real mom. Thank you for letting me, Sarah said. You're the best thing that ever happened to me. My name is Avery Thompson. I'm 29 years old. I'm a social worker, an author, an advocate, and a survivor. At 15, my parents changed the locks during finals week. I slept in a gym locker room for 5 nights. And then Coach Sarah Mitchell found me and changed my life forever. She became my real mother. She showed me what family really means. And she taught me that love is a choice, not an obligation. My biological parents abandoned me. But I didn't let that define me. I turned my pain into purpose. I helped other kids who were abandoned like I was. I wrote books about chosen family. I testified before legislators. I changed policy. I changed lives. And I built a beautiful life with people who chose me. That's my story. Not a story of revenge, but a story of resilience, of survival, of finding family in unexpected places, of learning that the people who show up for you matter more than the people who share your DNA. At 15, my parents changed the locks during finals week. I slept in the gym. Then she showed up. Coach Sarah Mitchell. My real mother. My hero. My family. And she saved my life.